Welcome back to All Business Media TV, where it's all business, all the time. Here's your host, Rick Delgado.
And welcome to All Business Media TV. My name is Rick Delgado. I'm your host. And welcoming to the show today is the lovely lady based out of Marina Del Rey, California. Her name is Barbara Scheidegger. She is the inventor of the Scheidegger approach, and she owns a company called Let It Go Hypnosis, which you can go to on their website, letitgohypnosis.com, or give them a call at 323-999-4775. Barbara, welcome, and how are you?
Thank you. I'm doing good. Well, like you said, I'm from California. Mm-hmm. I'm cold.
Yeah, the weather turned
warm.
The weather turned on us a little bit this week, but we appreciate you making the trip out and joining us here in studio to talk about your company.
It's actually being a hypnotherapist helps me now to put myself in a state of it's warm.
Right.
It's okay.
All right. Well, that's
I
great.
can get there.
So tell everybody a little bit about yourself and exactly what you do with your company, Let It Go Hypnosis.
I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. That means I'm a therapist and not in the show business.
Okay, so in other words, the stuff that people might see in, say, a comedy club setting or something like that, where, you know, they get people involved and all of a sudden this guy's taking off his shirt and that lady's making chicken noises, that's not what you do, right?
No. It's that's the show business, and I understand that people want to laugh when they pay for a ticket. They want to be entertained. And what I have to say, when people going up on stage, these people want to be on stage.
Right.
They can be put in hypnosis because they want to be there. Someone who doesn't want to be put in hypnosis, doesn't want to go in that state, can't do anything.
Can't be
hypnotized. It won't happen.
Right.
So that means what I'm doing in therapy, I guide people through their limited thoughts they have. Mm-hmm. That blocks them to move forward, or they are in a state of mind that they truly believe I'm not able to move forward because I was told I'm never going to be a painter, or I'm not going to be smart enough, or you never make it to high school. It's a conditioning, and it's in them, in the unconscious mind. It's unconsciously there, but actually people don't know why actually. What is the reason that I cannot move forward? Through hypnotherapy, I can guide them through to that point, that they can bring it up and see what that is, and from that point on we can get rid of it. How can we get rid of it, and how can we move forward? The what and how is very important in hypnotherapy, not the why.
Right.
The why is not important.
Now let me ask you this, because like you said, what you do is completely different from what we, the way I described it.
Absolutely.
And that's all well and fine, and that's for fun. Mm-hmm. This, what you're doing is, like you said, it's clinical hypnotherapy. Yeah. So what you're doing is working on problems, helping people kind of, overcome things that may have been holding them back, right?
Exactly.
And it all comes from, they have to be willing.
Oh,
right?
That's it. But I think if somebody walks into my door, he has made the decision already. I need help. I want help. Unfortunately, it comes always a little bit later than I wish they would come in. People try. I say they want an overnight fix.
Right.
So you reach to pills. You drink a little bit of more wine than you should. But in the morning when you wake up, the problem is still there.
Right.
So next time you take maybe a little bit more of alcohol, or a little bit more pills, or you scream a little bit louder. Mm-hmm. But in the morning when you wake up, it's still there.
Right.
So whatever they have tried, then it's time to do hypnotherapy. Right. I hope from now on people understand that hypnotherapy is really completely natural. It's organic. It's within us.
Right.
It has been proven for many years it's amazing, even in World War I, World War II, for surgery, they put people in hypnosis in
really?
a state of
Okay.
of catalytic hypnosis. So the body is completely ready for surgery, but there's no pain.
Right.
And people can have surgery in that way. There are people actually are allergic to anesthesia, and they can't have that. So
we have to
they
find
call a
another way,
hypnotherapist to do that.
Gotcha.
So it's within us for a long time. We just have to be ready and accept it today that we can heal ourselves
Right.
in a different way.
Now, how long have you been practicing clinical hypnotherapy?
Now it's been 5 years.
Okay, and now when you first got started, what drew you to it? Because it's not the normal thing. I mean, like
I can say it's
one of those things. Well, it's one of those things that people don't really think about first. You know what I mean? It's like you said, they go to the doctor, they get pills, or they seek therapy, or they do this, or they do that. But you made mention that when they find you, it's almost like, okay, I've tried everything else, nothing is working, which is why they end up at your door, right?
Yes. Well, I even in my life, I had a big change. I came to a point in my life I had to say, I have to make a change. This is not what I want. This is not good for me. My health went upside down. I wasn't in a good state in my life.
Right.
It wasn't good. So I made the decision I need to make a change. And it was hard. It was extremely hard. In my head, it was here. I'm going to do it.
Right.
Tomorrow morning, it's going to be done.
Yeah, but you know what?
And then in the morning, I wake up.
Barbara.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow,
exactly. That's
tomorrow.
what happens. It's almost like because every January 1st, the New Year's resolutions. It's coming up quick. But this is the year. I'm going to make it happen. And whether it be giving up something, maybe changing their diet, joining a gym, doing something that they know they should be doing, but they just haven't taken that step. And then within 7 to 10 days, there they are, feet are up on the couch. If it was a gym thing, maybe they'll visit the gym one more time that month in January, and then that's it. It's tough to break those bad habits. So how do you go about developing those new habits with clinical hypnotherapy?
Out of my own experience, when I was in that situation, like everyone else, I got pills, you're depressed, you need pills. I took one, and never again.
Right.
I went to a psychologist. I just had the feeling it just became worse for me because we went always back to the past, and I had to relive my whole entire past. And then we pointed fingers, oh, it's this fault, it's he did it to me, she did it to you, and then I got resentment and anger, and then it made it worse.
Yeah.
And when I found hypnotherapy for me, first of all, I realized I am the part of a problem. I am a part of this problem. At the same time, I felt like this way can I be also a part of the solution. Once I realized that I am a part of the problem, that already brought me up to a state, hey, we need to do something.
Right.
After the first session, I came out in a state of relaxation, awareness, what was happening, and at the same token, there was no anger within me. It was just like, oh, this is it? I have to let it go.
Right.
This is what I have to let go. And we have to learn to let go. And most of our problems, anxiety comes from the past. We're doing something repeatedly that's not good for us.
Right.
The reason that we are doing it because it's known. We know the outcome, even if it's bad.
Right. But it's comfortable.
It's comfortable, but your body also will react to it.
Right.
You can get sick. You can get your headaches, you get chronic pain, you get an ulcer.
Right.
diseases can be developed through that, holding back and not moving forward.
Right. So what was that defining moment for you when you finally said, okay, you know what, I'm going to give this a try? Because did you even believe it was going to work the first time you did it?
I have to be honest about this. I had no expectation.
Okay.
I just said, I'm going, and I'm going to do that because I tried everything else. If I come out weird, then so be it. But it was such a change, such an awakening within me.
Right.
Just things came up to the surface, and I was able to let it go. But we can just not let go. We have to know also what we want. Mm-hmm. So my question was also, and also the therapist's question, what do you want? So I told her what I want, how my life should be, and how I want to move forward. And at the same time, when I was able to express what I wanted, the way I see my life, I already became better. I felt taller, I felt better. So through my own experience, getting out on the other side of the tunnel, mm-hmm. there is a new light, a new life, a new of me, and I'm able to create my own life now without the influence of others, other people, other words or the outside world.
Right.
It was just realizing I make the decision for myself. Whatever I do in my life, I make the decision. Is it bad or good? I made the decision, and I have to face it. I have to accept it. Mm-hmm. I have to acknowledge it and say, hey, that's what it is. Okay, let's make the change.
Right. Now, when you were going through this, did it happen? You said after the first session, I guess.
Already, yeah.
You felt a major shift.
Yeah.
But was this something where you're like, okay, I have to keep going back now? And how long did it take you to finally make those changes? Because let's face it, we all know it's very easy, Barbara, to fall back into those bad habits, right?
The key is the way I work. Mm-hmm. It is a reinforcement. It's homework.
Right.
You have to work on your thoughts, on your look what your patterns are, and interrupt your patterns. Right. And consciously now, after the first session, I saw what I was doing. Before that, I had no idea what I was doing. I just was doing something.
Right.
But then he came up and said, "Oh, that's what I'm doing." And the time I wanted to do it again, he came, no, I'm not going to do this again. This mm-hmm. doesn't serve purpose at all.
Right.
I'm going to do this. It's a training your brain, rewiring your brain, bringing up from the unconscious mind up and say, hey, we're making a change. That's the unconscious mind and the mind are in sync.
Right.
They have to be in sync. It's a communication constantly going on now. And we have to learn to listen to our inner voice too, to our gut. It's very important.
Yeah,
that we have to.
And I agree with you. but sometimes, you know, what you say to yourself, and then what you put out there, because you know, a lot of times people are they're afraid of what other people are going to think, Barbara. And I think that's probably what holds a lot of people back, right?
Do you know what I think of you?
No, and please don't tell me if it's bad. I don't want to hear it.
So you never will know. So what you worry about it?
Oh,
and that's what it is.
Oh.
You never know what someone else thinks about you. Why would you worry about that? Why would you make a perception of it, or an image of it that, oh, they might think, they might do this, they might do that. It's always a might.
Right.
And you have that picture in front of you, and once you see that picture in front of you, it becomes reality, and then the anxiety starts.
Well, that's it, though.
That's your picture. That's not his picture or her picture.
So that's something that you know, we create ourselves, the anxiety, right?
Yeah. Oh, and anxiety and stress, it's all about fear.
Right.
In hypnosis, and I have to say, I help you in hypnosis when you're in the state of hypnosis. Mm-hmm. I guide you through those steps so you get to that point where you want to be.
Right.
I can tell you by watching my client, I can tell exactly where he is. That's my job.
Right.
And we go from that.
Okay.
But I'm not telling him what to do. I'm just asking questions.
Gotcha. You scared me for a second because I thought you were going to tell me something about me, and I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. Now let me ask you this, Barbara. How long was it for you to finally make those changes? Did it take a certain amount of sessions?
It did. It did for me.
Okay.
I was completely new at it. It took a few sessions.
Mm-hmm.
But first I went, let's say, 1 week, and then every 2 weeks, and then once a month,
Right.
and then it became 6 months when I felt like, and even now today, after so many years, I go maybe every 2-3 months.
Oh, really?
Just
Okay.
to reset.
Gotcha.
It's like you get a massage.
Right.
Sometimes I need to reset, and I go and do my little session
Right.
with my mentor that I have.
Right. And so now you've been practicing yourself for 5 years, right?
Yeah.
And you started your own company, Let It Go
Yes.
Hypnosis, which people can go online. You can go to the website, letitgohypnosis.com is the website. And of course, you can see what Barbara does. You can contact her through there as well, through her website. But also you've got on there, and it's something that you developed. It's the
Yeah.
Scheidegger approach, which I guess is different from what you went through, but I guess you
Yes.
borrowed a bit from it and then created your own, right?
I studied a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I did my certification as a clinical hypnotherapist. I studied NLP in London with Richard Pendler.
Right.
I did Reiki, I did energy work, and I read a lot of books at the same time. And I took from different places my learnings, my knowledge,
Right.
and I thought, yes, we can stretch it out as long as we want to, but why not make it short? And I studied it for 21 days. I had somebody who came in and worked with me.
Right.
They said it should not take longer than 21 days. When I think it over, if somebody's really committed to do that work.
And that's part of it. They have to be.
I say it is,
Yeah.
absolutely. The 21 days include actually 4 sessions with me,
Okay.
private. If there are more, they can come in more, but
Right.
minimum 4 sessions in this 21 days. Then I make a recording so they can listen to it.
Okay. Now, are you
After 1
recording
week.
each session?
I don't record sessions.
Okay.
I make a recording later on.
Ah.
Let's say I have a client coming in, and I'm talking to him next day, and for 1 week, based on that, I give him the homework. Yes, it's homework. You have to do it.
You have to do homework.
It's a half an hour a day, so
That's
what?
it?
Just before you
That's
go
not
to
bad.
bed.
That's
And
even
in-
better.
And in the morning when you get up, they are just before you get up. You get, based on what you tell me, how you felt
Right.
after that first session. Then I tell my client, look, this is your homework, but if you feel you have a little problem or you get stuck in a way, call me immediately. And I walk you through.
Right. So that access to you is part of the 21 days.
Absolutely.
That they can take
Yes.
advantage of if they're.
I'll be there.
If there's something all of a sudden, there's a little anxiety coming up and they don't know how to deal
Call
with it, they
me.
can reach out to you.
Yeah, call me, and if I don't answer immediately, leave me a message, text me, email me, whatever works, but I will call you back no
Right.
matter what. And then after the second session, it's always very important after the second session to talk. Then I feel always now the client is more relaxed,
Right.
has more confidence, and more truth came up to the surface.
So
And
let me
then we
ask you
see the
this.
real truth.
Is that really where it all begins? Because I feel like, the first time somebody sits with you, they might be a little,
Yeah.
yes, I'm ready to make this change, Barbara. I've been talking about it forever, and this is going to be the year, and my life's going to be so much different. But sometimes I feel like they still have that border up and kind of that facade to because they don't want to reveal too much. Because
Yeah.
people, I made that comment that, people don't want to know what other people think about them. They don't want to look stupid,
Yeah.
right?
And you know, we bring. For me, I don't judge people. There's no judgment at all.
Oh,
so
I judge people all the time.
So maybe we should talk one day. So they have to find whoever. If it's me or someone else, you have to trust that therapist, that hairdresser, that dentist, that doctor,
The bartender.
even that. Yeah, you can get many stories out of the bartender. And that's a way then in the second session, especially that during this week they did their homework, they worked on themselves, they feel differently. The second session they come in, it's more relaxed.
Right. And you're saying
they are familiar with the hypnosis, because I had last week an older gentleman, 72 years old. He couldn't sleep for years. The last source, it was really hypnotherapy. I met him at Starbucks, we talked him through it, and took another year now until he called me. This man was so nervous. He couldn't breathe, he was so nervous. So I had to do breathing exercise with him, talk to him slowly, and bringing him in. I brought him into hypnosis. Walked him through. He came up and said to me, I wasn't in hypnosis. I said, look, I know you were, but however you feel like, brought him through the sessions about sleeping, and he will sleep in the night. And we talked another half an hour, just like this, and then he left. The next day, he got and texted me, I slept all night long.
Wow.
But this is not finished. I told him, this is now not finished.
Right.
Now
That's the first step.
Now that's the first step. Now you know something's happening.
Right.
Now let's keep it happening.
Right.
So in the second session, they come in again, we talk, we're doing the hypnosis session based on what the client is telling me. And then before the third session, I talk to them again, and then I do a recording for them.
Right.
So based on, again, what the client is telling me, everything is tailored to the client. There's no one size fits all.
Right.
Every person is different, takes it in differently.
Everybody's got different issues and different problems.
I tell them you can listen to that first, maybe before you go to bed for a few days, and then take it with you. And once you feel like something is coming up, or go sit somewhere quietly where you can be, and listen to it.
Right.
And he brings them back again to, yes, I can, I'm moving forward. It's a reinforcement with yourself.
Right.
It is, it's the communication with yourself is so important.
Right.
That you start communicating with yourself. We all have that voice within. Yeah. And we have to admit we talk to ourselves too.
Right. But is it? I do it more than you realize. Now is it the, because I know that there's the conscious and there's the subconscious.
Yes.
So are you trying, by doing what you do, are you kind of getting past the conscious? Because I feel like the conscious part of us is the problem usually, because that's the one that's like, I care what this person thinks. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to hold back. This is the way I'm going to be. Yeah. But inside, you know, there are those different feelings that you said you talked about.
And that's what the unconscious mind will bring it up. They are, I always say we are computers. We have files within us that are not necessary anymore. We release them, and we bring in the new files. Then the unconscious mind will bring that up to the conscious mind, and hey, woohoo, it's time to change.
Right.
Until it becomes an automatic response and goes into the unconscious mind, and it's completely normal that you react now differently.
Right. Whereas maybe an example, instead of shying away from a stressful situation, now you decide, I'm going to tackle it. I'm going to talk to that person that's giving me a problem, kind of thing, right?
Yes, exactly. It's tapping into the unconscious mind it is a very strong, how can I say, tool. It's very strong. And once you're in there, because here in this unconscious mind, there's so many unknown things that we don't know, but they bother us without knowing us.
Right, and they they tend to manifest themselves in different ways, right?
Yes.
It could be either, like you said, the way you react, or have you found that some people, well, that gentleman had a problem with sleeping.
Because
he
he told himself.
Physical issues as well, right?
Yeah, because he told himself before he went to bed, I won't sleep. That too. But you don't sleep. I know I'm not going to sleep. Well, then trust me, you're not going to sleep.
Right.
It's what you're telling yourself is very important. So we have to learn how to tackle our thoughts into a positive way. That's oh yeah, it's freezing cold. I'm gonna be sick. No, it's freezing cold. I have a scarf. I have a hat. I have a coat. I'll be warm.
Yeah.
And
or I'll just stay in the house and stay warm.
Exactly. But we have choices.
Right.
People have to understand that they have choices, and that's a big part that I hear people always saying, I had no choice. I said, no, you have a choice.
You just don't realize you have a choice.
Just the choice you made is not the best one, but take it as an experience. Take what you have learned from it with you.
Right.
What was good on this experience? What have you learned from it?
Right.
Take that with you and move on. Instead, I shouldn't have done and shouldn't have said that. It's done. What have you learned from it? Take that with you.
Right.
We always go back, regress in the past, but there is no future in the past. The future is now.
Right.
What we're doing now will affect what we're doing tomorrow.
Now, when you say that, though, when you're working with someone, it's almost like you have to go into their past to figure out why they're doing what they're doing, though, right?
I don't know why.
Okay.
There's no reason,
I mean
but what it is.
Right.
We are going into the file. That's my approach. That's why I say I have my 21 days, and I have a completely different approach than many other hypnotherapists.
Right.
We're going directly into those files. We bring it up to the conscious mind, whatever that is, and most of the time I don't even know.
Right.
They know, and they see it.
Do they know, or do they? They don't admit they know, or until you help them kind of bring it out? Because I feel like if it's in the unconscious mind, right? If it's in the unconscious mind, it's like they're not really even realizing what's causing them to do
It's known just to the unconscious mind, but the unconscious mind won't release it.
Right.
Because it's there for years. Why would you make a change? It's just there.
Yeah. What if it happened to you as a kid? You don't remember.
Yeah. It just will. It brings it up. It's a very interesting process.
Right.
It's an amazing process.
Yeah.
How you can heal yourself just by tapping into your unconscious mind and bringing it up.
Right.
It is hard to do it yourself. You need guidance. I needed guidance. And it's just the way it is, because we cannot sit still. If we go into a relaxed state, suddenly the mind says, oh, did I turn off the lights at home?
Right.
Or where's my car key? Things like this.
Right.
But when you get guided through, you have a voice to listen to, you focus on your breathing, and you're in a quiet environment. You made the decision today to make this change. Let's make it.
Right.
And that's the important part.
Yeah. And let's face it, it must have worked, because it worked for you, right?
It worked for me. That's why I'm sitting here today.
Yes.
I was so fascinated by it, and that many people, told me, you're crazy, you're nuts.
Right.
I got it a little bit here and there, and don't make that change. You're 50 years old.
Right.
That's crazy to make a change in your life. Look what you have. You don't appreciate life.
Right.
I do appreciate life. That's why I need to change it.
Right.
Because this will make me very unhappy.
Right. And that's tough to do, because, especially when you get those outside forces, people that, that care about you. Maybe they're family members, they're friends, they've been with you a long time, and they see what you're doing. It's like, wait, you're throwing all of this away. But it's like, to you, it's like, I don't really even love this.
Yeah.
So it's like, why am I holding on to it?
That was I'm not telling you it wasn't hard.
Right.
Yes, I had to go through the whole process. You have to face the pain. You have to acknowledge it and go through it.
Right.
You cannot ignore it. If you ignore it, you have no way to go through that. It's just there, always quietly will poke you.
Yeah.
And someday it will manifest in a disease, in something that you weren't expecting to have. But the body will tell you. The body has memory. The body will remind you always, look, this hurts for a reason.
Right.
And if the doctor cannot find out for what it is and just hands you pills, yes, it takes the pain away, but it just covers it up.
Right.
In hypnosis, I guide you through. We go into the source of it. What causes the pain? And we release it. It's blockage of something, of just something that sits there and won't move.
Yeah.
So everything has to go around. And it's just like on the freeway when you have a detour. Everybody goes there, you get stuck.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get annoyed and you yell, or then your heart is beating. And that's the same way.
Right.
That's what we're doing to ourselves.
That's a great analogy, though. Attribute it to, if you want to know exactly what she's talking about, pretend you're in traffic and nobody's moving. And you see the light keep changing, but nobody's moving. And then you make a turn and figure, I'm going to go that way, see if I can save time, and nobody's moving. It's exactly that. We're talking to Barbara Scheidegger. She's our guest. Let It Go Hypnosis is the name of her company, letitgohypnosis.com, 323-999-4775. If you want to find out more information about her, about what she can do for you, and of course, she's available not only in person in the Marina Del Rey area in California, but you also work with people online, right?
I do Skype.
Okay.
I travel to people.
Right. Oh, that's
also,
pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's I'm movable.
She's mobile. She'll hit the road to make sure you lead a better life.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this, because I know you've had your own journey with the clinical hypnotherapy, but through the years that you've been practicing, I'm sure you've probably helped a lot of people, right?
I did.
What's that been like, and what are some of the things like that they've come through your door and said, I need help with this, so to speak? Just so people can understand some of the things that you can help people with that maybe they never even thought of.
Yeah, even in the finances, somebody,
now you're talking. People love money. But sometimes there's a lot of things holding people back from that money.
It's already, I had the other day a girl coming in, I don't have money.
Okay.
I never will have money. I said, well, what do you want? She said, then I want money. So I said, you really don't have money? What do you have in your pocket?
Right.
Well, I have money. I said, okay, then we have a start there already.
Right.
We know you have money. How can we get more? What is your vision on it? What has to be done to get more money? How can you imagine yourself getting money?
Right.
How can you rephrase now? If you don't have money, you won't have money. But if you say, I'm going to get money, put a number and I want more money. Okay, here's $1, you have more money. How much? It's very specific.
Right.
How much?
Now,
and you get there.
You get there, but how do you get there? I think that would be one of the big questions. People be like, well, I want money too, but I don't know how I'm going to get it. And is that going to be revealed when they start the program, start the 21-day program?
Yes. It's definitely, the first session we talk about, I want money.
Right.
More money, more money, more money.
Right.
That's what we need. Who doesn't? So through the first session, when we talk, the discussion I had with her, instantly I feel stuck.
Okay.
So okay, where do you feel stuck? How do you feel stuck? What is it? What's holding you back?
Right.
Then it came out what it was. Okay, so now how can you get rid of that? How do you see yourself? Imagine this thing goes away.
Right.
How would that be? How do you see yourself? And then the imagination starts. Hypnosis, hypnotherapy is about imagining things, imagination, picturing, seeing it, believing before it happens.
Right. Now, when you were going through this with this particular person, was she under hypnosis when you started asking those questions? What is it going to look like and all that stuff? Were you
just before? Because I need
Okay.
I need my notes.
Right.
It's her language. It's her words.
Right.
I'm using her words. But then, when she is in hypnosis, she gets that imagination too. She gets the feeling of, yes, I deserve money.
Right.
I'm worthy of money. They realize suddenly, well, somebody said you're never going to have money. And then it's like, no, I'm going to have money. I'm going to release that thing that told me I'm never going to have money.
Right.
I will have money.
Now, was it someone or something that told her that she wasn't going to have this money?
It is
Or-
basically, she grew up in a poor family.
Okay.
And the money was also, we're never going to have money.
Right.
We're never going to be rich.
So she kept hearing it as a child.
Enjoy your friend's home because we are never going to have that.
Right.
That's something that happened to me when I was little. I grew up in a family of 8 kids.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I didn't have a terrible growing up. My childhood was nice, but in 8 kids we had to share. We had our
Right.
things, but we had never like other people had.
Mhm.
So once in our village they had they built new homes, was brand new, and my friends lived there.
Right.
Quite a few of my friends. So it was a birthday party and I was invited. And my mom looked at me and said, "Go there, you never will have a house like this.
Oof.
Enjoy it." So I went into that house and said, "I can have that. I can have a house like this one day. I will have a house like this,
Right.
like this." And I do. It's what it is. But then I see some of my siblings,
Right.
they don't.
They still have that
It's
mentality.
still the mentality within
Right.
here. We're never going to have that.
Right.
It's how you set your mind through and move forward strongly, and you repeat yourself and you tell yourself, yes, I can.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. Do people come to you and say, you know what, Barbara, my relationship is, my marriage, my relationship, whatever it is, I need to change it, something's wrong, I keep, finding the same people, I go from one loser to the next loser to the next, you know what I mean?
It's the pattern.
Right.
So in
So you help
hypnosis,
people with relationships as well?
Yeah, we can interrupt that pattern.
And that's
In
all about,
hypnosis.
you almost sound like Tony Robbins.
Oh.
And that's,
But
believe me,
I think that's what we do as hypnotherapists.
Right,
We have
you're
to interrupt
interrupting
the
that pattern,
yeah.
which, in that case is a pattern of picking the wrong people.
Yeah.
In the example that you gave about yourself growing up, somehow that pattern of you're not going to have this got interrupted.
Yeah.
But you're not sure where. But
Yeah,
you just said,
it's-
no, I can have something like
Yeah,
this. So that wasn't an issue for you.
not at all, because I was little. There was no pattern. It was
Right.
just told to me. I did not accept that. When I saw that, I can have that.
Right.
So, and that's what it is. It
So-
was never a question for me that I never will have it.
Right.
I
So a
won't
lot of
have
the times when you're working with somebody and you're getting through that first, to that second appointment or session
Mm-hmm.
where they really start to unwind, that's where you're starting to find this is where this is coming from, or that's where that's
Yeah.
truly coming from. Because again, people are going to try and put up blocks because it's tough to really let down your hair, so to speak, and be like, okay, here I am, I'm an open book kind of thing.
It's in the beginning, yes. I remembered that older man last week.
Right.
It took a while, and then we talked. I have 2 hours for you.
Mm-hmm.
I take my time. They have to trust me. It's a communication. So if I gain their trust, that they understand I'm not here to judge and point fingers and say, hey, it's your fault. Yeah, I understand that you did that. That wasn't, wasn't very smart what you did, but, we can fix that.
Right.
That's different. That's not gonna happen.
That would be tough. But you don't tell people what to do, right?
No, never.
Because
they figure it out on their own.
Well, a lot of times, because people think, okay, hypnosis, they're going to tell me to act a certain way, and that's what I'm going to do. I'll tell you from my experience, and again, it was the comedy thing where you kind of say, okay, you volunteer, they take a group of 6 or 7 of us, the guy does his thing, and whoever it took got pulled up. There were some people that it didn't take, so he sat them back down.
Yes,
right?
yes, and we know why.
Okay, because they didn't really want to get
There are different
hypnotized.
kind of people. In hypnosis, we realize which one go in faster too, so we need to take them.
And it's funny too, because when it was happening to me, I'm like, I don't think this is working. I'm trying. I mean, I'll let him hypnotize me, but I didn't think it was working until he started making suggestions. And I couldn't do certain things, though I tried. And it's funny too, because you say, that gentleman said, well, I wasn't hypnotized. I wasn't under hypnosis. It's like, okay. You believe that, but you're saying that you can remember everything, and I did remember everything. I couldn't say certain words.
Yeah.
Certain words with a K. I couldn't say it.
Yeah.
And it was weird because I felt my jaw stopping myself from doing it. But that's the entertainment side.
You
of
wanted to go up there.
I did,
exactly.
and I did want to curse with the
exactly.
letter K in it, but I couldn't say the word. It was amazing. So on the clinical side, but what you do is it's not for giggles. It's not for fun. It's for changing someone's life.
Yeah, and the fun is at the end when you have changed that, and you look back and say, "Oh my God, I did that." When I see people laughing about what they have done before, the behavior, and they laugh about it, I know it was successful.
Right.
That's where we have to go. Then we look at it with humor, and we just move forward. In any way of the past, that we just take what we have learned from it with us. And there are some hardships in the past, I understand that. But what you went through there brought you where you are today.
Right.
Embrace that.
Yeah. Now there was an example I know that you had mentioned to me once before, and I think we actually talked to the woman on the radio, where it was, and I won't mention any names, but it was about, I guess, you had gotten, she had come to you and did the 21-day approach, and through that process you found out it was an issue that she had with her mother, right?
Yeah. She came in she wanted to lose weight. So she wanted to do liposuction, but she had to lose about 20-25 pounds.
Right.
So she went to the doctor, and the doctor said, yeah, we can do it. So she called me and said, well, I want to lose weight, I want to prepare for this surgery.
Right.
I do liposuction. I said, so come in. So we talked about the liposuction. And I said, what's going to happen when this fat is gone? Well done. I said, well, what are you going to change? I mean, it's gone.
Right.
What's going to change then? And she couldn't answer that question. So we went through, and she said then she's not going to liposuction, she wants to do it with hypnotherapy.
Right.
So the second session when she came in, we talked. And it wasn't about the food. It wasn't about actually gaining or losing weight anymore. I realized it's my mother said, there was constantly something, and then said, well, you're here, you have here because of your mother, because your relationship with your mother is not that great, right? She said, yeah, we're always fighting, and then it came out.
Right.
And we were able to go through that, the 21 days, addressing that problem that she brought up. So after the 21 days, she started to lose weight. And she traveled then back home and had a wonderful relationship with her mother. I got even text from her mother that they weren't fighting. they were laughing, and always before they left, you know, the separation anxiety,
Right.
they were fighting. So they hated each other when they
Right.
left. She took the flight and cried, and the mother cried. This time they hugged and kissed, and they cried out of joy.
Right.
So it's the problem. You think sometimes you come in, it's not the problem.
Right.
You have to find the cause of it, the root of it,
The root
how
cause.
how the whole thing started with what.
Right.
It was a build-up, probably the food added to it, because when she was angry or something, she just ate,
Right.
or when her mother was angry, she fed her kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what that happened, and I don't
Right.
even want to know. The most important thing is we got that thing up to the surface, and we're able to release it.
Right.
And knowing then, how do you want to be with your mother? What would you love to say to your mother? How should your relationship with your mother be? What is your dream about that?
Right.
How you can interact? But one thing you have to know, you cannot change your mother. You can change your behavior towards your mother.
Right.
And that's what we worked on. Because I cannot change her mother. She's mother.
Yeah. A mother's a mother.
It's unless she comes in and I can have a session with her. But she had to change her behavior towards her mother.
Right.
How she looks at her mother, the anger, the stress, the anxiety. Oh, I'm going to travel. I'm going to see her again, and already it starts that picturing what's going to happen, even if it didn't happen.
Right.
Anxiety starts there, so we can stop that.
Right. And it was something that she was creating based on
Yeah.
the relationship she had with her mother, like you said, but it had nothing to do with the liposuction, it had nothing to do with the food. It
No.
was one of those things where, like you said, it was after you got past that, what is the real problem?
Exactly.
And then you
That's always in the
identified
second session.
Right. You identified it and you dealt with the root cause.
Yes.
As opposed to, let's face it, in Western medicine, Barbara, I think you know as well as anybody, you've been in this country long enough, it's all about getting that prescription, getting those pills.
Yes.
And that really just kind of masks the pain. It's
It
like if
covers
there's
it.
a scratch on a table, just cover it with this, and
Yeah.
you won't see it. But the scratch is still there.
But it's still there.
Right.
Unless we address it.
Right.
And once you address the problem, or I say a problem, it's just an experience. Look at it, what can be done?
Right.
Why the scratch here, we don't care. It's there.
Right.
But what can we do to remove the scratch?
Exactly. Now, let me ask you this, because I know you've mentioned this as well, is that people will come back, you have them come back, maybe do a little tune-up. You get a tune-up once in a while yourself from
Yeah.
your mentor, right? But I also understand that you offer people the opportunity to learn
Yes.
how to hypnotize themselves, right?
That's in the 21 days. And I teach people how to do self-hypnosis.
Right.
It's a great tool. In any way you get exhausted, even if you're just tired, you can rejuvenate yourself just
Right.
with self-hypnosis. You get angry, you have anxiety, you have stress, you have something that comes up. You just can go out for, let's say, 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
do this exercise, and you come out rejuvenated.
Right.
It is, again, a learning process. You have to learn it.
Right.
And once you have it, it becomes unconsciously. And while you're there, suddenly somebody can go, it happens to you, you can just breathe deeply, relax, and say, now I can move forward.
Right.
Breathing is one of the most important tools that I give to the people. When I have a lot of people, they just sit there. They just, that breathing in, breathe out, to
Right.
what we breathe every day unconsciously. But I teach people actually to breathe consciously. So that's the air goes up and down and
Right.
clearing out. And we should do that actually at least 5 minutes a day, just
Right.
sitting down and breathe really, really deeply.
Right. And that's part of the 21 days you said?
Yes,
it's part of the
exactly.
the Scheidegger
So
approach?
what you get in the 21 days,
Yeah.
you get 4 sessions with me,
Right.
one-on-one. The first session is 2 hours. The other sessions are 90 minutes.
Okay.
There's always talking involved. There is also, during these 21 days, communication with me. People text me how they feel.
Right.
Based on that, I give them quote-unquote homework.
Here goes homework. Do you check the homework? Do you check for spelling and grammar?
I should put that in,
Yeah,
actually.
you should put that in.
Learn how to read and write at the same time.
Right.
That's included.
Right.
Plus, you get a booklet for your notes that you can do, that you can write your homework. Then you get a recording. And at the fourth session, you're at the platform, and you can move forward on your own.
Right.
And you know what to do. But in these 21 days, we're in contact. And that to me extremely important. I know in the first week I get a few phone calls.
Right.
And then the second week a little bit less. Third week a little bit less, and then it's almost gone.
It's almost like you're letting them fly on their own.
Yeah, and then I get text, oh, I feel much better today. It's the young gentleman who wrote me, I feel now finally I have less stress, less anxiety. I had to tell him, well, what's the opposite then?
Right.
How do you feel? Oh, I feel relaxed. I feel happier.
Right.
Now I know what to do. It's how you say, why less stress? That means you still concentrate on stress.
Yeah, you're concentrating on the negative side as opposed to looking at things, what's good about that.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so it's really, if you're in a situation, you hate it, and you hate it, and you hate it, and you hate it, change it. It's time to change.
Right.
Why wait again for the New Year's? The New Year's is a joke, really. People prep themselves up so much, I'm going to do this on New Year's. But they never see them actually doing it. They never imagine themselves doing what they promised themselves to do.
Right.
So when New Year's hits, this is just from 1 minute to the other. It doesn't give you time to adjust.
Yeah.
So they run to the gym like crazy people. They work out like crazy.
Yep.
And they get exhausted. And then it's finished.
Right.
There's a plan involved. You make a change, you have to make a plan and work towards the goal. What is the process? I say always, if somebody wins in the lottery $10 million, they lose it. They spend it immediately and it's gone. Why? Because they didn't go through the process. They have no clue how to handle that money.
Right.
Unless somebody wins who has already millions, they know how to handle it.
Yeah.
But somebody has nothing and suddenly get that much money. They buy a house, they buy a car, they go this, and then at the end, oh my God, where's my money now? Now I have to make payments.
They buy this person a house, that person a house. Everybody gets new cars. They don't actually, like you said, they don't have a plan. Okay, now what do I do going forward?
Exactly.
Because again, you mentioned, January 1st, New Year's Day, everybody it's like they have a statement, but they don't have a plan.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose weight. Well, what does that look like? Like you said, okay, how much weight is it going to be? What do you want to be? What's going to be the first week? What's going to be the second week? What's going to change, from why you weigh what you weigh and what you're eating, because that has to change too. It's about developing, I guess, those new habits and breaking those old patterns, because let's face
You're
it.
in the patterns too now.
The patterns, they drag you back in. It's almost like, Godfather 3 just drags you back.
And through that, we learn with repetition and writing it down.
Right.
The new patterns.
And that's part of the homework, isn't it?
That's part of the homework.
Writing it down.
that it becomes unconscious later on. And you don't even think about what you did before, because it's gone, completely gone. So it's work, and we need to have a plan. So what's your plan for New Year's? Now, what's wrong with now?
Yeah.
If you bothered by what you're doing, If you're in a relationship that you don't like to be, you hate your job, get rid of it. Change that relationship. Change your way of living. Change your weight. Lose weight. Start now.
Right.
What has to be done? And doesn't mean for 10 days you don't eat anything and just drink water. Yes, you will lose the weight. It will be gone. You lose it, but you find it again.
Right.
So it's what has to change for a lifestyle change. And
Well,
that's what hypnotherapy is all about.
Right. I think
change.
that's the biggest takeaway from all this is you're changing, your lifestyle, the way you live. If it's smoking you want to be, you help people with smoking, right? Yeah. You mentioned that you help them with weight loss.
Yeah.
And from that weight loss, it turned out to be a mom issue with that one particular person. So there are all different things, whether it's relationships, your body image, your work environment, no matter what.
Yes. The most important thing is also it is that you see what you're doing.
Right.
What is it? What has to be changed? If your work environment doesn't work for you, how do you want to change that now? Where can you go?
Right.
But you have to end one and start in order to begin one. So if this work environment is not the perfect environment for you, what do you have to do now? I know this brings you money right now to pay your bill. It's a fact.
Right.
But how can you get out of it? Can you take an evening course now? Can you read another book? Or you have somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody? Well, why not going for that? Put it out, lie it out, and see exactly which is your way you want to go, and then go through it.
Right.
There will be a hard time in between, but you have to hold on and just go through.
Yeah. And that's part of the approach of what you teach people as well, right? And of course, you offer them that recharge. Hey, you're feeling a little stressed. Contact me. Let me know. Also, you teach people, which I still think is, doing hypnosis on yourself could be, all of a sudden you wake up 8 hours later. It's like, why was I in the middle of the road and nobody stopped me? But it doesn't happen like that.
Because the unconscious mind.
I've seen too many movies and TV shows where people do crazy stuff. Again, we have to thank our guest, Barbara Scheidegger, out of Marina Del Rey. She is the owner and clinical hypnotherapist for Let It Go Hypnosis. LetItGoHypnosis.com is her website. You can reach out to her, find out about her 21-day program, the Scheidegger Approach, and also give her a call, 323-999-4775. And and change your life. The habits that you have now don't have to stay that way, right, Barbara?
Definitely.
And you can
unless you like them.
Right.
But if there's something you don't like, make the change.
Right.
It's there.
And again, it's one of those things where once you've tried everything else and you're like, my life still is terrible, that's when you reach out to someone like Barbara. No matter, even though she's in California, she'll work with you no matter what. LetItGoHypnosis.com is the website. So reach out to her. And thank you again, Barbara Scheidegger, for joining us right here.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome on All Business Media TV. All right.